Into the last 16 of the 2019 Europa League. Who's going to go all the way? We'll talk about their chances next. That's right, folks, back once again with another prediction video, this time looking forward to the first leg of the last 16 in the 2019 Europa League. Now, we'll get to that in just 1 second. If you're new to the channel, smash your subscribe button, keep you bang up to date with all things Europa League related, Blackburn Rovers related, football related. We're going to all hear under one roof. Now, before we jump into the old last 16 first leg, we're going to take a look back at the last 32 second leg to see how we got where we are in the old thing and see how we got on with my predictions. So let's kick it off. So Zenit St. Petersburg took on Fenerbahce in the second leg and they came out on top 3-1 winners. I actually saw this as a 2-1 win in favour of the Russians. So they go through into the hat to the next round, and also joining them will be Inter Milan after they came out on top 4-0 winners over Rapid Vienna. Winning 4-0 on the night, 5-0 on aggregate. Actually, I saw this as a 3-1 win in favour of Inter Milan, so not too shabby start indeed. Then the Belgians, Genk, up against Slavia Prague. Ended up being a 4-1 win for Slavia Prague after a 0-0 first leg. So the Czech team are going through to the hat as well. I actually saw this going in favour of the Belgians, 2-1. So got that one absolutely wrong. Then over in Germany, Bayer Leverkusen took on FK Krasnodar, and they couldn't be separated in the first leg. They couldn't be second in the second leg. Ended up as a 1-1 draw. Ultimately, Krasnodar going through with on away goals. I actually saw it as a 3-1 win in favour of the Germans. Leverkusen have turned a corner in the Bundesliga, but unfortunately their European adventure has come to a close. Real Betis up against Stade ended up being a 3-1 win in favour of the French outfit. Again, I saw this going the other way, 2-0 in favour of Betis. But Rennes will go through, or Rennes will go through 6-4 on aggregate. I think they're up against Arsenal in the next leg. Dinamo Kiev took on Olympiacos, ended up being a 1-0 win for the Ukrainians. I actually saw this as a 0-0 draw, folks. But ultimately, Kiev going through 3-2 on aggregate. Sevilla took on Lazio, one of the tasty games of the round. Ended up being a comfortable 2-0 win for Sevilla on the night. I actually saw it as a 1-1 draw. But ultimately, Sevilla go through 3-0 on aggregate. And after the shocking first leg result between these two, Arsenal and BAT Borisov, end up being a 3-0 win in favour of the Gunners. I actually saw that as a 3-0 as well. So they go through 3-1 on aggregate. Let's take a look on the second half of the draw. Benfica took on Galatasaray, ended up being a 0-0 draw on the night. I actually saw this as a 2-0 win in favour of the Portuguese outfit, but they go through anyway, 2-1 on aggregate. Joining them will be Dinamo Zagreb after a comfortable 3-0 win over Victoria Pilsen. I actually saw it as a 3-1 win in favour of the Croatian side. So 4-2 on aggregate, Zagreb go through, and they will be joined by RB Salzburg, who beat the other Belgium outfit, Club Bruges, 4-0 on the day. I actually saw 4 goals in it myself, but split 2 ways, 2-2. Ended up being a 4-1 win on aggregate after Club Bruges picked up a 1-0 win in the first leg. Napoli took on Zurich, ended quite comfortably for the Italian outfit, 2-0 win over FC Zurich. I saw it as a 3-0 win for Napoli, but they'll go through anyway. 5-1 on aggregate, and joining them on the same aggregate score will be Chelsea after a 3-0 win over the Swedish team Malmo. I actually saw this as a 3-1 win in favour of Chelsea, but again, they go through 5-1 on aggregate into the hat for the next round. Also joining them will be Eintracht Frankfurt, comfortable demolition of Shakhtar Donetsk, 4-1 on the night. I actually saw it as a 3-2 win in favour of the Germans, who have turned the corner as well. They're looking very good in the old Bundesliga. 6-3 on aggregate. Frankfurt are through, and joining them will be Valencia after they beat the only Scottish contingent left in the draw. That was Celtic. They beat them 1-0 on the night. I actually saw a 2-0 win for Valencia, but ultimately they'll go through 3-0 on aggregate. And wrapping it up, joining them, Valencia will also be another Spanish team. It will be Villarreal, I believe. Is that right? Yes, they are going through after a 1-1 draw over Sporting Lisbon. I saw it as a 2-1 win in favour of Villarreal, but they'll go through 2-1 on aggregate. Now let's take a look at the new draw. It's the last 16. 8 matches, or 8 first legs will be duplicated a week later, but kicking it off will be Frankfurt up against Inter Milan. Now, tasty one, this one. Inter Milan are a bit of a hodgepodge team at the moment. We don't know what we're going to get over in Serie A, but Frankfurt look to be decent despite obviously losing their manager over the summer to go to Bayern. But going into this though, Inter, not too shabby form, winning 4 of their past 5 games, but Frankfurt on the other side have also unbeaten in the last 5, but they've drawn 3 and won 2. But I'm going to go with a German win on this one. I'm going to go with a 2-0 win for Frankfurt. It'll make a bit of an uphill struggle for Inter Milan in the second leg. Now, over next up is Dinamo Zagreb up against Benfica. Now Zagreb will come into this game one defeat in 5 games, whereas Benfica, slapped my wrist. Benfica have also unbeaten in 4 as well. So difficult one, this one. But I'm going to go again with home form on this one with Zagreb, 2-1 winners. So next up it is Sevilla up against Slavia Praha. Going to go with home form again on this one. Obviously, the home legs are always crucial. You need to put up a few goals if you're going to get themselves through on a 2-legged game, because you never know what's going to happen in the second leg. But I'm going to go with Sevilla on this one, 3-1. Next up is Stade Rennes up against Arsenal. Arsenal, they're pretty decent at the moment. Obviously, they lost the first leg against BAT Borisov in the Europa Cup, but since then it's been a different story. Not conceded a goal as of recording. Now this game will probably take place after some Premier League action, so their form book might change. But I am going to go with the Gunners on this one, 2-1 win in the end. Next up it is Zenit St. Petersburg up against Villarreal, the Spanish outfit. Petersburg come into this game winning one and losing one. Obviously, they beat Fenerbahce 3-1 at home, but they lost against Fenerbahce on the road. Meanwhile, Villarreal are not in the greatest shape over in La Liga. Only won 2 out of the last 5, and most recently they lost up against Atletico Madrid. So I'm going to go with the Russians on this one, 2-0 win in the end, to give themselves a nice, good foothold to get through to the last 8. Next up is Chelsea up against Dinamo Kiev. Now Chelsea obviously in the media for probably the wrong reasons. Obviously that controversy in the League Cup final, but can they get their act together in the Europa League? Well, we'll have to wait and see. But I do think they will get the better of Dinamo Kiev in the first leg anyway. 3-1 win over the Ukrainians. And next up it is Napoli up against Salzburg. I've already put Napoli as one of the favourites to go all the flipping way in this, up against the Salzburg team who've won 2 and lost 2 in the last 4 games. So I think it's a good time to be playing the Austrians. So I'm going to go with a 2-0 win for Napoli to give themselves again a foothold into the old second leg. Next up and finally is Valencia up against Krasnodar. Now Valencia coming to this game not in the greatest shape. They've won 2, drawn 2 at the last 4, whereas Krasnodar have lost, or have not won in the past 3 games. So you probably would fancy Valencia, and that's what I'm going to go with, folks, with a 3-1 win in the end over Krasnodar to give themselves a foothold into the next round. That's pretty much all I've got for you today, folks. If you've enjoyed this video, please give it a good old thumbs up, and if you're new to the channel, smash your subscribe button, keep your bang up to date with all things Blackburn Rovers related, Championship related, plus Europa League related. We've got it all here under one roof. And also make sure you drop your own predictions down in the comment section below to see what you think will happen in the old last 16 first leg. And we'll be back again probably a week later, or once the results come on in, we'll be back probably on that Sunday or Monday after it to predict the second leg. Hopefully you enjoyed this video. If you did, smash a thumbs up. I'll be back soon. Ciao for now. Thanks again for watching. Please like, share, and most importantly, hit the subscribe button to keep you bang up to date. All things Blackburn Rovers related, Championship related, football related. We've got it all covered right under one roof. And while I still have you, please be sure to check out some of the old videos scattered along here. I hope.